the next day is when it starts getting a little interesting. What's going on, guys? Okay, so first of all, it's dark outside, which is why I'm not filming in my normal place right now. It's almost 8 o'clock here. Day was crazy, did a bunch of stuff for drill team, it's a whole thing, but that is not what we are talking about in today's video. Okay, so as you can see in the title, today we are talking about weeks 3 and 4 of basic military training, Air Force, my experience. Again, this is my experience. Your experience is not going to be anything like this, most likely. I went in the wintertime, there's a lot of stuff that happened, bunch of stuff, which is going to be in separate videos. So this is just basically an outline of major things that happened while I was at BMT. If you guys haven't seen my other videos, so far I have a 0-week video and a week 1 and 2 video up on my channel for you guys to see, and then this is going to be, next is 3 and 4. I'm going to cut a little bit out of week 4 and switch that into the week 5 video, because week 5 might be its own video for certain reasons. So definitely look out for that video. That's going to be a crazy one, guys. But let's get right into it. I have my notes all prepared. I have highlighted everything. We are ready to go. Yeah. So, as you guys all know, the weeks start on a Sunday. So, normal Sunday, for the most part. The big things that happened this Sunday, myself and my friend Matla, we figured out the new EC schedule, which, if you didn't already know, EC stands for Entry Controller. You have an entry controller at all times while you're in the dorm. Sometimes also when you're out of the dorm as well. For safety reasons, and also just they have to have the dorms locked, so then that way someone's always there to let people in. But we hadn't figured out a good scheduling system for it. So myself and Matla, we sat down, we figured out a schedule, it was good to go. Probably do a separate video on that, but that's what we did beginning of week 3. We also, they started to work on our t-shirt design for our flight merch. So at the end of BMT, you are able to get a flight shirt. So we started to design that shirt starting in week 3. We also got a 40-minute shower with hot water. It was amazing. It was very much needed self-time to just, whew, it was nice. Speaking of Matla and myself, we became very good friends, and she is super smart and into sciencey stuff and like space stuff, and so she and myself went out to the mailbox Sunday night to mail out letters, and we got to look up at the stars and the planets, and she taught me what the difference was between planets and stars and how to tell the difference of it, and it was really nice. It is one of my favorite memories. So that was that. So then Monday, we had to wake up early because we had class. We had to go over to the PRC with 3 other flights for class that day. We also had a SARC class, which is Sexual Assault and Prevention. So we had that day, and then we had our 3rd week PT test. Now, if you recall in my week 1 video, I mentioned how I had not tested for PT my first week. And I again didn't take my 3rd week PT. That is going to be in a separate video of all that, but that is the normal time to take your 3rd week PT test, but I did not take mine then. And then we had details in CQ. So details is basically like cleaning and stuff. And CQ is command quarters. And so basically we went downstairs to the CQ area and we like swept the halls and mopped and vacuumed and sanitized things. It was just our turn to do it. Then we also had a dress and appearance class because week 3, you finally get your OCPs. So we basically had our MTI come in and he showed us his uniform and how to wear it properly, and we walked through the handbook that we were given, and basically we're just shown how the proper way to wear uniform was. So then Tuesday, we went, for those of us who were Guard or Reserves, we went over to the Guard and Reserve Liaison's office, and we got briefed on rank, BAH, life insurance, all that fun stuff. They went over it with you to make sure that your rank was correct and that you were getting the proper BAH. I was not getting the proper BAH for me. They did not apparently know that I had Naomi. So that was a whole thing that needed to be worked out. So just know that they are there like that for you. That's literally their job, is to fix those kind of things and to catch that stuff. So if you think there's something wrong, make sure you let them know so that they can work on fixing it. Later that night, we went to class back in the PRC again with 6 other flights. We also got our name tapes and pins for our blues that we would be getting the next day. And then that night we packed our green duffel bags for the clothing issue for the next morning. So basically we had to make sure we had 1 pair of our OCP socks. We had to have 1 pair of our nice blue socks. We had to have our belts and our name tapes and all that stuff. And then we also had to have our BMTSG, which is your BMT study guide, and note-taking material if you so choose, because there is a lot of time while you're there that you can just be sitting around that you can use to study. I don't think I studied. Also with that though, it's really cool. I don't want to walk through the entire day with you because that's its own thing, but you do get to have an MRE that day and not eat the DFAC food, which is super exciting. And it was the first time that we actually got to sit and talk while we ate and just relax and have a good time. And it was awesome, guys. Like, but one thing with that, make sure you don't put the juice pouches or the powders or anything like that into your water bottles, because that is a safety hazard, or a sanitation hazard. Basically, when you put those things in your water bottle, it can build up bacteria and make the entire flight sick. So I highly suggest not doing that. You will get in trouble for it. And then later that night, we went downstairs to the atrium, and we had the ladies from the dry cleaning come over and explain how the dry cleaners worked to us and walked us through everything, and anything that we needed dry cleaned, we gave over to them, because when you do get your blues and stuff like that, it will have chalk on it from where they marked it to properly size you. And also you're packing it into your duffel, so everything gets wrinkled. So it just makes more sense, in my opinion, to just get it all dry cleaned. So that's what I did. One thing I haven't mentioned yet is every morning, starting in the 3rd week, I believe, because the first 2 weeks you're in ROM, you can't really go anywhere. They don't want you being in contact with too many other people, just in case someone does have COVID. So starting in the 3rd week, we did what's called assembly, which is in the mornings. You run downstairs, you guys size up the entire squadron, and you sing the Air Force song and recite the Airman's Creed and any announcements for the day, that kind of a thing. And then that was pretty much every day from there on out, unless it was super bad outside or if it was a Sunday. We didn't do it on Sundays. While that day, we also had another class on the GI Bill, and while we were at class, we got a room inspection. I got cleared to take my first PT test that day, which was, I was nervous, but I had to take my PT test. Like, they were pushing for me to do it, so it was whatever. So that came back, I told my MTI, like, hey, I got cleared to take my PT test, and he's like, cool, you're taking it this afternoon. And I'm like, okay. So I took my PT test in 3rd week, towards the end. I think it was a Thursday that I took it. And yeah, I passed it, guys, which was super awesome, but I will get more into that into another video with my medical stuff. That's where I will actually go into that. But I took my PT test that day. That night, we got a 20-minute phone call, which was super exciting. I was able to call home and be like, hey, I passed my PT test and I'm good to go, which was super exciting. But then we roll around to the next day. We also did some weapons assembly and disassembly as usual. And then our MTIs in that evening sat us down to talk about the balance between work life and home life. Trying to find that balance, which was super refreshing to be able to sit down and just talk to them like human on human versus in the training environment, if that makes sense, and actually learn skills that we need to use outside of BMT. And then, so like I said, the day before I took my PT test, then on Friday, went out to PT, and the first 5 minutes, I hurt myself again. So that's what happened that day. I'm not going to get into details again, that's going to be in a separate video, but that's when that happened. We also had front 5 practice, which was basically all 4 element leaders plus myself as the guidon bear. We go out to practice for graduation starting in the 3rd week prior to everyone else coming out to graduation practice. So in that way, we know the cues because we actually have cues and things that we need to do during graduation. In BMT, your MTIs have like certain like phrases and stuff that they'll do. So they'll be like, one that our MTIs did was steady, nice and smooth. But like the smooth, the entire flight would say. So they would be like steady, nice, and then the entire flight would say smooth. And we would like yell it out. Or they would be like, what's the other one? Oh yeah, it'd be like boom, 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 boom. And then we would say headshot. And then they would go boom, 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 boom. And then we would say kill. Like, it's just something that they do. It's weird. I get it. But so that day, our MTI, we were marching back, and our MTI was like steady, nice, and this is in like the end of the graduation practice, and no one apparently was paying attention. So I was the only one who like shouted smooth, and everyone just like lost their bearing, and everyone started laughing, and I'm just like, yep, I did that. Moving on. Like, they won't let me live it down. But yeah. So then Saturday morning, we had actual front 5 practice. That's usually when you do your front 5 practice, is on Saturday mornings. And then after front 5 practice, you have your PT. And after PT, you have your entire squadron do graduation practice. As usual, on Saturdays, we went to the mini mall and did our mini mall run. We had Saturday afternoons to do it, and then we also had Monday afternoons, Monday evening, Monday morning, something like that. But they split it up. So Bay A would go the one day, Bay B would go the other day. I typically went on Saturdays. That's just how it worked out for me. So that was it for week 3. Now, week 4, I'm going to go over really quick, just because there's not as much, and then I'm cutting it short anyways. So, week 3 started out Sunday, you know, the usual, but except that this Sunday we started working on our chants. So we came up with a flight chant. So one of the ones that we came up with while we were at BMT was we would go, "Woo, flight, get out the way. Flight 228 didn't come to play. It's a smooth flight coming your way. Flight 228 didn't come to play." It was awesome. There's one about like McDonald's. Oh, it's like, okay, so basically, one that our brother flight did, that apparently everyone does. We did it at the end with brother flight as a joke. It was super cool, but it's a sweet dollar tea from McDonald's. And then the entire flight would say, "We drink that." And then it was, I wouldn't text the girls. Basically, we came up with chants. It was a lot of fun. I will try and post the sweet tea one at the end of the video once they get back to me on what it is. But that's that. Okay, so then, also on Sunday, we did our bed move. Apparently, the rest of the squadron did it like the week before, but we were just doing it in the 4th week. So, everyone got their beds. Here's how we did it. This is not how you're supposed to do it. You're supposed to take all your crap and put it on the other bed and like switch it and wash all this stuff. Our ladies picked up the mattresses and moved them over to the other one. So then that way we didn't need to change anything and it would be fine. Except for the fact that we forgot that the mattress cover needed to have the open end of the mattress cover towards the wall locker. And so we had some of them that were towards the center aisle. And so the next day, our instructor supervisor came in to do a room inspection and noticed it. So Monday, half of the beds in our dorm got flipped because they were incorrect. So that was fun. Also that day we went to the Bob Hope Theater, and I honestly don't remember what they talked to us about, but it was another class, and it was at a new location. After we got back from the theater, we did a second inspection after fixing everything, which was a lot better. Tuesday, I went for x-rays, spent most of my day at the medical center. Again, it'll be in a separate video. Wednesday, we did weapons. We went down to the weapons pavilion to work on disassembly and assembly of our weapons as usual. We had class in the day room, and then we put on makeup and we went over to the clothing issue building to get our photos taken, which was super exciting. We also had one of the girls in our flight leave. The military life was not for her. So she left us, and then that day we also got a new holdover trainee. So basically, when you get recycled in BMT, you have to go back 2 weeks. And so she was the week before us, so she came and stayed with us for a few days before they switched her over to her new flight. And then that night, in your wall locker, there's a drawer. It's your security drawer. It needs to be locked at all times. It doesn't matter if you are going to the end of the bay and back. It needs to be locked. Basically, our MTIs come out to us, and we're like going through our drawers doing I don't even know. I think they were having us straighten them or look for something. Everyone was in their security drawer. And then they're like, everyone into the day room now. And so we all ran to the day room. There were 45 girls in our flight. Out of the 45 girls in our flight, 37 of the girls left their security drawers unlocked. So we're sitting in the day room waiting for the MTIs to come in, and they're not coming in. They're going down the bays, they're opening up all the security drawers, and they're taking out the important, valuable stuff, which they're supposed to do. And they brought it into the flight office. Then they proceeded to come back into the day room. They're like, listen, we were going to sit down and talk to you heart to heart about Air Force life and that kind of stuff. But you guys can't lock your security drawers. So then they had all the girls who didn't lock their security drawers line up to the front, to the flight office, and each of them got a 341 pulled. So the moral of the story is, don't leave your security drawer unlocked ever for any reason. Guys, do yourselves a favor, please. Just lock the drawer. It's not that hard. So that is where I'm going to leave it. I know I'm only halfway through week 4 of training, but the next day is when it starts getting a little interesting. So if you guys want to hear what happens from there, go ahead and make sure you subscribe to my channel so that way you can see when the next video gets posted about week 4.5 into week 5, the mysterious, oh my goodness, week. So yeah, again, thank you guys so much for watching. The support has been amazing, and like I said, if you like the video, go ahead and hit the like button, subscribe if you're interested in seeing more videos, and hit the notification button so you get notified when I do upload a video. Go ahead, leave any comments, questions, video ideas, anything like that down in the comment section below. I do try and respond to you guys if I get the chance. And yeah, just thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye, guys. Okay, guys, real quick. They got back to me. Here's what it is, okay? So the one guy's like, sweet dollar tea from McDonald's. We drink that. 2.5 Men. We watch that. Flight 227 and 228, we've been that. Wolfpack for life. Well, that was our take on it. That's when we did it as flight, both the brother flight and the sister flight. It was so awesome, guys, to just like, it's such a good feeling. I don't know how to describe it, but if you guys are in military and you get it. It's that camaraderie. It's amazing. The feeling, I can't. Listen, BMT sucked, but there's some things like that make me miss it so much. Like, oh, my heart. Okay, yeah, I gotta go. Okay, that was awesome. Yeah, night, guys.